Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, it's time to take a detour into the comic books with A Tale of Jango and Boba Fett, written by Tom Taylor. Now in this series, it talks about the humble beginnings of Boba Fett, growing up with his father, and then a mysterious ending to one of his father's last bounties causes Boba to go on to another adventure years later and discover what is truly going on. It stars another guy called Connor Freeman who is in it, and this four-part series is amazing. It is incredible. Now this comic book starts off before the events of Attack of the Clones. Some of it shows Jango putting Boba to a test to see, test his courage, test his skill and ability. And then the other one is one last bounty that he went on with his son, which his son doesn't know what happened or what was going on with it. And he said he would explain later. Of course, there was no later because when Attack of the Clones happened, he was killed by Mace Windu and Boba just never found out. Let's try this again without so many spoilers. Anyway, so Boba's trying to find out what went on with one of his Jango's last bounties before Attack of the Clones. Now, years later, their paths cross again. Kid who was involved meets up with Boba Fett, a Connor Freeman, and they kind of go on this adventure together. Now, the story just isn't about that. It's about several other things that make it so good. First off, the action. And you're thinking a comic book, well, yeah, there's lots of art, and that's one of the things that comic books are really good at, is showing its creativity through its artwork. People read comic books because of the artwork, not just because of the story. And that is true. However, to get artwork that inspires the imagination, and there's a difference here. There's a difference when a Jedi's just slamming down and clashing swords with another one. I've seen that a million times. I can see that in my mind. But to come up with a scenario or an action sequence that you can see play out and go, oh yeah, that's cool. There's a million times in this series where you're turning the page and going, that's cool. And that's what I like about the story. It sets up a lot of good action sequences. There's a lot of good dialogue. And even the ending, again, I'm going to try to do this without spoilers, the ending is very poetic in a way because it ties back into the first mission or challenge, trial that Jango, his father, had given him. And Boba Fett's kind of completing that trial as an adult. But we're not done yet. Because then there's a second story arc to this one. It's basically called Blood Ties. But Boba Fett is dead. Now in Boba Fett is Dead, it's written by Tom Taylor, a hit squad goes after Boba Fett, and Boba Fett has to fake his own death to realize what's going on and who is all behind this hit contract on Boba the Fett. It's a great story again. Tom Taylor really picks up where he left off here. Connor Freeman's back. Again, it's a whodunit thing. Boba Fett goes undercover. Darth Vader's in it for a little bit. Dr. Evanson from Star Wars, The New Hope, or the man with the messed up face, courtesy of Jodo Cass, is also featured in this too. So it's got a few winks to a few other characters in the series. And again, another ending similar to the first story arc, but it makes sense even more this time. And I like it just as much. If you were to tell me what's my favorite one, probably the first part. A Tale of Jango and Boba Fett, I like. But of course, Boba Fett is Dead is just as good. Now, I heard there was going to be a third story arc they had planned out. I don't know what it was about, but I would have loved to have seen it because I think Tom Taylor did an amazing job here. Also featuring Boba Fett is Not Dead is mention of his family at Concord Dawn. Oh, here we go, Concord Dawn. A lot of people who don't read the EU that much, they think one of the #1 inconsistencies with the Expanded Universe was Boba Fett's history. Because they remember the whole Jaster Muriel, Concord Dawn short story from Tales of the Bounty Hunters. But what they all never read and never even bothered looking into is that the Star Wars universe had already explained that later on. We know that Jaster Muriel and his home on Concord Dawn is just a fake. It's a cover-up. So they wouldn't connect that that was Boba Fett's wife and daughter there. Tom Taylor's story actually makes sense on why Boba would have a fake identity set up on Concord Dawn away from his true identity, which is Boba Fett, most reviled bounty hunter, right? People are going after him Okay, everyone wants to kill him. The Bounty Hunters Guild from the very first series of Tales of Jango and Boba the Fett, they're not happy with him. And you would find that kind of boils up to a conclusion in the Bounty Hunters trilogy, which I'll get to later on. But this series really does a great job explaining a lot about what we know about Boba Fett and a little about what we don't know. It goes a little bit inside of Boba Fett. And I really do like these comic books. I think they're fantastic for that reason alone. All right, folks, that's all the time I have for now. I'll see you next time with another video.